Hey there and welcome back to Sims Sunday. My name is Pete and this is the series where we try to complete The Sims 3. And the start to today's episode is a bit more sudden than we're used to. Ayesha is on call and has to go to the hospital for an emergency now. She is, however, more in need of fun than in need of sleep, so this is actually a welcome opportunity to raise that fun bar with a nice round of golf at work. Things at home don't stay quiet either, as we get visited by a burglar. Being the child of a police officer, Paul has the opportunity to challenge her to a fight, so let's see how he does.
We floored.
Okay, safe to say that we got our behind handed to us here, but that little confrontation avoided her stealing anything. So now we can send both Patrick and Paul back to bed and hope that Ayesha's shift comes to an end without any further disturbances. Alright, Ayesha's emergency shift is over, she has earned us roughly 900 simoleons, and she will now head home, go to bed, and we can skip ahead to the morning hours. First awake and well rested is a very hungry Paul. We want his mood to be absolutely perfect today, because he's going to work hard the entire shift and go for that promotion. We can see here his carpool will arrive in about an hour, and first of all, let's have breakfast.
Mapita!
Up next is an equally hungry Patrick. However, with him we don't simply grab something from the fridge, but instead have him freshly prepare it. While Patrick gets started on some waffles, Paul heads over to the computer. He will now play games just for a short while until he maxes out his fun bar. Ayesha is also up, but not well rested. Her workday starts again shortly, so let's have her take a quick shower in preparation. With a maxed out fun bar and 8 hours of positive moodlets ahead of him, we can tell Paul to stop playing games now. At the same time, Patrick finishes his waffles and starts eating, and then Paul can teleport to work. Like I said, he will work hard and then hopefully get a promotion today. We can also see that Paul broke the teleportation pad, and with Pete already passed away, I don't trust anyone in the household to repair that. So with her shower finished, Ayesha will have to take the ordinary way to work. She will once again play golf there. And then, just before leaving with the school bus, Patrick can make a quick phone call for the repairman.
Ding nang, Booty dinang, Shabel, Beminepso, Zubel Tepsi tea.
The technician will arrive in an hour. That is great, we don't need to be home for that. So now let's send Patrick off to school, and I think normal effort should be enough to get him on honor roll today. Then a few things happen at once. We get 200 simoleons and Paul completes the Celebrity Charisma skill challenge. That skill challenge unlocks by meeting 25 local Sims. He has done that and as a result is now able to build relationships much faster. The 200 simoleons are also from Paul and they are a late reward for an opportunity from the last episode. Back at home, the repair technician has arrived, and a short while later the teleportation pad is repaired and working again. She gets 50 simoleons for her troubles. That is well worth it, especially in light of what comes next. It is Monday again in Sunset Valley, so we can collect our weekly funds. We are currently at over 20,000 simoleons that we can collect weekly, so I think the point where our family is worth more than 500,000 simoleons is not far away. Not much has happened as we are now at the end of Paul's workday, and accompanied by 1,200 simoleons, he gets the promotion to Anonymous Source Handler. That is goal number 1 for today achieved. Shortly before he arrives back home, we get an opportunity for Ayesha. Stay late at work for a job performance increase. Well, thank you very much, but we can't really go any higher in her career, so we will have to decline that. Back inside, Paul can take a well-deserved shower, and then hop back onto the computer where we still have an unfinished article to write. At 2 PM, shortly after, school and work end for Patrick and Ayesha respectively. We make some money from Ayesha and we can see in the top right corner here that Patrick has finally made it to honor roll. He now has the wish to stay there for 3 days, so let's promise him that. And speaking of wishes, let's switch over to Ayesha, who had one fulfilled by Patrick reaching honor roll. As usual, she is now once again out on town collecting. Patrick has arrived back home and his garden needs some attention, so we will have him tend to that first. Patrick being home is a good signal to start what comes next for Paul, because it means that everyone who was at school today should have made their way back home by now. For that reason, we will stop writing now and hop onto the teleporter and teleport ourselves over to the Dockery household. In front of that household, we have Joy. We can quickly chat her up. That should allow us access inside. Wonderful, we discover 3 more traits, those will come into play soon, and we are now able to enter the Dockery household. And our target inside is her, a girl named Chastity. Not the loveliest name in the world, but as we will soon discover, she is someone to keep an eye on. As we discover 3 of her traits, we complete another charisma skill challenge, this time the one named Personable. In the skill journal we can see that is unlocked by learning 50 traits and will now help us learn traits even faster. Now let's pause and talk about Chastity for a few seconds. As you can see here, she is still a teenager but will age up to young adult very soon. She has 4 traits, 3 of those we have already discovered and one of those is Virtuoso. Mooch and Friendly are also pretty helpful, and the 4th one that we can't see here is Brave. Always nice to have as well. I admit I did some research prior to this episode on who might be a good partner for Paul. I simply switched households over and over again and looked at who had good traits, and Chastity caught my eye. We will have the 2 of them continue to talk for a while to improve the relationship and also Paul's charisma skill, and with their relationship already labeled as friendship, we can interview her as well. His garden is taken care of, so Patrick will now take a well-deserved shower. Over at the Dockery household, Paul finishes the interview with Chastity, but we will have the 2 of them talk a bit more until Paul's charisma skill improves. Fresh out of the shower, Patrick will now move on to fishing, right here in our private little lake. One more time, back over to Paul. We have now reached level 4 of the charisma skill with him. That also fulfills a wish and gives him 750 lifetime happiness points. And all of that simply by talking to another person. With another goal reached for today, we can now cancel all further interactions and send him back home. Almost at the same time, Paul and Ayesha reach the home lot. Paul will now use the laptop to write a positive story on Chastity, while Ayesha, who returns from collecting, can pay the bills and grab the mail. Alright, quick change of plans with Patrick. Instead of fishing, we will now focus more on the cooking skill. I have placed everything we received in the mail on the lot, except for the stuff we want to sell, and Ayesha is currently analyzing space rocks. She will now send away a bit of gold to be smelted and then head off to bed. Alright, Paul has finished a single dish of stew surprise, and we can see in his skill bar that he is very close to reaching another level in the cooking skill. So close in fact that I think we can reach that next level today and fulfill him a nice wish. We get interrupted by another instance of the oh my ghost opportunity, this time for Paul, and even though I don't plan on bringing any ghosts back for the moment, let's take that just as a safety precaution. Then Patrick finishes his meal and will now switch over to homework. While he's doing that and Paul is typing away still, we can sell a bunch of stuff from Ayesha's inventory, mostly space rocks but also some gold and a cut diamond. Then we get the info that Paul has finished the article on Chastity, and now with a solidly orange hunger bar, let's have him grab something to eat next. We can then get back to Ayesha, sell some more stuff, and also put all of the books we bought in the last episode in the bookshelf. Paul has both finished eating and cleaned up, and yes, he is getting tired, but there is another workday ahead of him tomorrow, and with level 4 in the charisma skill and another story written, everything that influences our work performance is maxed out, so I would like him to go for another promotion tomorrow, and for that we need to raise his fun bar. A short while later, Patrick finishes his homework. That is our sign to have Paul stop playing again. The positive having fun moodlet is already at 5 hours, and we can send him off to bed now and get that maxed out tomorrow morning. With Patrick, we will cook one more round of stew surprise, and then reach level 6 of the cooking skill and fulfill a wish at the same time as another opportunity pops up. This one is for Ayesha. Train her to maximum muscle size in exchange for simoleons. I think we will pass on that because reaching that might actually take a while. A few seconds later, Patrick finishes the dish. We can put a perfect quality stew surprise in the fridge, send him to sleep, and skip ahead to the next morning. Up first is Ayesha, whose day we can start with a nice breakfast. And after putting the dishes in the dishwasher, she can clean the kitchen counter and get rid of that negative moodlet. We still have a bit of time to spend until work starts, but Ayesha already has the wish to work from home. That wish is actually very fitting. We don't really have anything better to do, so let's fulfill that wish. Wonderful, we will have her keep working until the carpool arrives. The next person awake is Paul, who I said earlier we will go for a promotion with. The most important need in that regard is fun. He only has 5 hours at work and I want him to work hard from beginning to end. And to avoid getting stressed, we will have him play computer games now, just like we did yesterday. Then it's Patrick's turn to get up, and since the reserves in our fridge are running low, we will have him prepare a serving of pancakes. 8 hours of the having a blast moodlet should be enough to put Paul through the workday, so let's have him stop playing and let him teleport to work. He will of course work hard to chase the promotion. Then Patrick finishes the pancakes, but there's no time for him to eat some. Instead, he will run off to the school bus and Ayesha will also stop working from home. We can set Patrick to normal effort, that should be enough to hold our place on honor roll. Then Ayesha can beam off to work, we will set her to play golf, and that should fill her fun bar nice and easy. Just a few moments after his shift starts, we get an opportunity for Paul. Watch TV for 8 hours in exchange for some cash. I think those 8 hours can be spent with a lot more useful things than that, so we will decline. A short while later, the same thing happens again, this time for Ayesha. Donate a heart in exchange for a raise and some simoleons on top. And it seems like we won't suffer any penalties for that. So yeah, let's donate a heart. Alright, Paul's workday comes to an end and we can see his work performance meter is filled, but it's very close. But yes, here it is, another promotion. Paul is now Investigative Reporter. We go from a 5-day to a 4-day work week, and we now have a bit more work to do, especially in the charisma skill. Right before he enters our home, we get another opportunity. I think that was the same case yesterday. However, getting a part-time job with Patrick is out of the question. That time can be spent a lot better. Paul will now continue to write the article. We didn't quite get it finished yesterday, but I want him to get it out of the way so we can start a new book. Then Ayesha's workday comes to an end. We make just shy of 3,000 simoleons here, and with the opportunity to donate a heart, we will do that right now and right here at the hospital. With Patrick, I finally want to reach another level of the fishing skill, and we will do that by fishing for black goldfish at the lake in the park across from the school. Back at home, Paul finishes the article, and it looks like it's a good one. I mentioned it earlier, improving the charisma skill is now the most pressing issue to advance in the journalism career, and since Ayesha bought every single skill book and we now have all of them right here at home, let's have Paul grab a charisma book and get to work. Okay, here is Ayesha. She has donated a heart successfully, it seems. The opportunity can be cashed in by going to work again. For the rest of the day, however, she will collect. A bit over an hour later, Paul finally improves his charisma skill to level 5. That is enough for now. Let's have him take a shower. Alright, fresh out of the shower, he can now hop back in front of the computer. He will start a new book today, and this one in the mystery genre. That is by far the most profitable genre we have available so far, but finishing that book should take a while. Then, already late in the evening, Paul finally improves his fishing skill. He is now on level 8, already getting close to maxing that out, and I think for the next few episodes we should focus more on gardening and cooking, especially cooking will be important for his first career. Then, on the top right of the screen we get a great message. Ayesha has finally found some plutonium. That was the one metal that we hadn't found so far. Now we have it, and we can see in the skill journal 100% of metals found and the metal collector skill challenge completed. I hope we can get the gem collector done as well, but so far the pink diamonds have not been friendly to us. Back at home, Paul has invested a bit of time in writing, but with another hard day of work coming up tomorrow, let's switch him over to something a bit more enjoyable. Outside, Patrick has arrived and he is now taking care of the garden, however with a total of 6 plants that should take a while, so let's actually head into buy mode and reduce that number. We have 2 lettuce and 2 tomato plants, and we can sell the ones of lesser quality. Paul's fun bar is starting to fill again, and I think that's enough for today. Let's stop the games and send him off to bed. Then outside, by harvesting the apple tree, Patrick reaches level 3 of the gardening skill. He now has access to fertilizers, a very powerful and often overlooked tool in gardening, but we will wait a bit until we use it. In the meantime, Ayesha has also made it home. Before going to bed, she will send away a bit of stuff, all the while Patrick hops under the shower. Then Ayesha goes to sleep. And squeaky clean, Patrick will do the same, and we can make a cut in today's episode. We did quite a bit of progress in this one. 2 career levels for Paul, improvements in 3 different skills with Patrick. I think we can call this episode a success. So ladies and gentlemen, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.